Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for joining me today. I am Lachelle Atkins, America's Supermom, and I am really excited to have my next guest here today. Evelien is here. We actually met through a virtual masterclass through the Global Women networking group. And so we were able to meet at this class, and then we later scheduled our own Zoom call. And we had so much in common. We just really thought it would be a great topic for us to connect again through the broadcast. So we're excited to be here today. Just a little bit about her is that, we just connected and were able to engage about parenting. That was something that we had in common. And just the highs and lows, the ups and downs of what it's like to be a mother in today's time, dealing with a global pandemic and just running your business and having that time to look after yourself, but also having that pull of what is it like to be a mother? Are we going to always get along with our kids? All the things that we always struggle with when it comes to parenting. So at this time, I'm going to give Evelien the opportunity to introduce herself, and we'll get into the interview.
Thank you, Lachelle. It's lovely to be here today. Actually, I'm in a different time zone. I'm in the Netherlands, so Central Eastern Time is a little bit different. So your morning is my afternoon, but it's lovely to be here and to meet with you. And just as you said, we had a really nice connection first time that we met, and through this wonderful international network. And even though we're far apart, distant-wise, you notice that a lot of things in each other's lives are very similar in the things that you deal with. And so I'm born and raised in the Netherlands. My first name is Evelien. My last name is Van Es. So Evelien van Es is my name. And I work as a business coach, business and life coach, a sparring partner. I'm also an author, wrote my first book this year, which will be coming out the end of the year, beginning of next year, both in Dutch and in English. And I'll tell you a little bit about that later. And I have a corporate background. I used to work within corporates in change management, communication director roles, and changed into my full-time business and coaching in beginning of 2015. And it's been a true pleasure and really working with people on changing themselves instead of being busy with change process within organizations, because the change starts from within. So it starts within every single person, and that's what I really like to do in my daily work. And also I started my second business in 2018. So I have my own coaching method, which is called Signature for Success. So I'm building up that team of coaches that I'm mentoring, and that's something that is a really big joy in my life. And so 2020 has been an exciting year. It's been a year that has been, I think it's impactful for everybody some ways. And so for me, it was a very natural way in starting to write my book, which is about taking on life and to be relentlessly yourself. And I think that's what this is all about. I think these times, these unprecedented times, these really make us stop and reflect and to find out, is this the life that we all want to live, and what do we want to do differently, and what do we like, and what is it that we don't like, and what decisions do we need to make. And so it was a wonderful and joyful dig into all kinds of topics that are underneath the surface, actually. And I think that times like these really stimulate every person to take a look at it. I think there's no way that we can even, look away from it.
I love that. Yeah. So many topics that we can go into. The first thing is the whole concept of going within, because so many people, when it comes to fixing themselves, they want to have that perfect job. They want to have that perfect relationship and all these different things that we want fixed externally. So talk to us about, how we get to the concept of understanding how going within can help us accomplish these goals that we want for ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think that, most people start realizing when they have these life-changing events that they want things to go different in their life.
Mhm, mhm,
And so for me, I work, actually, I didn't even tell you that, but I'm a single mom. I'm a single mom for about 8.5 years, almost 9 years now, two daughters, 15
mhm,
and 18. And so getting separated, and then after that, a couple of years later, I was in a relationship, and then my partner at the time got seriously ill, got cancer. And I think all these life events, whatever happens, it doesn't really matter actually what happens.
mhm,
And but these really are moments in time when you wake up and you start realizing, what is the life that I live, and what is it that I want to do differently. So these life-changing events are usually really a wake-up call and really needed to
mhm,
to feel the urge of doing something different. And
mm,
to go within is not something that it is not a decision itself. It's something that naturally flows out of something that happens in your life, and then you start
mm,
realizing that your life is not about having a big car and a great job and
mhm,
lots of money in your bank account. It is finding out what life is really all about. And I think that's just actually what I think that is the journey of life all about, is
mhm,
is
mhm,
is actually unraveling, is actually who you really are, because a lot of people think that they know
mhm,
themselves, but actually they don't. And I've
mhm,
been in times where I thought I knew myself, but I know
mhm,
that throughout all the years and all the things that I've been through, is that finding out who you truly are, that's actually what life is all about. And that's something that you don't find the answers in the outside world. The answers are
mhm,
within yourself. And but
mhm,
you need to be in interaction with others to clarify what that is. That's
mhm,
not something
mhm,
that's going to unreveal when you're meditating on your lotus position, and then clarity is going to be a no. It's an ongoing process of falling and stepping up again, and walking again. And that's just like kids do in their life, when they start on the first bike ride, or it's just
mhm.
practicing and doing it. And that's what life is all about.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. And, I had a similar experience with my issue of dealing with depression. It was 13 years I struggled with that and had to be hospitalized. And after that last hospitalization, I get where you're saying I just didn't know who I was. I can look in the
Yeah,
mirror and be like, who is this person? Couldn't identify with a lot of my values and things like that. So, for you and someone who may be, um, what advice would you give somebody who's at that point? They have the realization that, you know what, I don't even know what my favorite color is or something right now, because a lot of people are struggling with this
yeah,
pandemic. Their worth was
absolutely.
attached to their position they had. That position is no longer available with their company or job, or they've lost loved ones, and just
Yeah,
the rug has been pulled underneath them. So,
yeah,
what would be the
yeah.
first step to take that journey within?
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good question. And I think
Mhm,
one of the first things is that I think we're putting a lot of pressure on ourselves. I'm even
mhm,
writing about this in my book. Is that the worst enemy?
mhm,
That's usually that we are ourselves. We're
mhm,
your biggest enemy ourselves, and so we're really putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, in
mhm.
and healing quickly, and having this transformation from like one day to the other day. That's not how it works. I think if you're able to slow down and give yourself some time to learn and reflect, and to feel, and to even feel the pain of loss, the pain of whatever the situation is that you have. Maybe you lost your job, maybe you lost loved ones, or maybe you're really anxious about what is happening. But then to really allow yourself to feel, because a lot of people that don't know themselves and don't even, who they really are. They've lost the ability to really feel, to be, to
Mhm.
allow their heart to speak and their gut feeling
Mhm.
to kind of guide them in their lives. And and I understand what that is, because being
Mhm.
back so many years in the corporate world, I've been in situations where I was really being led by my mind, my thoughts, and that was
Mhm.
really leading, the things that I was doing with my two kids, working full time, doing all kinds of stuff. But then slowing down is the only way you can,
Mhm.
use your instinct and listen to your heart
Mhm.
and your gut. And so I think that's
Mhm.
really the most important advice that I would give, is that, be gentle to yourself and allow
Mhm.
yourself, give yourself a break. And because you don't need to rush, there's no train to catch. It's
Right.
this is life. Life is in the now.
Mhm.
And if you can be okay by the fact that you don't have all the answers yet,
Right.
I think that's also important. Because then,
Yeah.
that eagerness. If I have clients, that approach me and they tell me, I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to do career wise, and actually I want the answer now. But
Mhm.
that's just not how it works. And it's the more pressure we put on it, it's that's not how it works.
So true. I really resonate with that, not being able to feel because, most people would think, oh, as a mom, you just, you automatically feel. I mean, how can you be numb, so to speak? And that's really the life that my experience was like at that time because I was on autopilot and always checking every box about this routine being done. So I get that whole thing about stopping to feel because the things that we do to try to protect ourselves sometimes can be the most damaging because we're creating this wall with ourself from everyone else. So I love that
Yeah,
point about
yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
So your coaching method, this is something that is very important as well because we have a lot of coaches who, right now I'm a coach, you're a coach, that position and title is uh, very readily available. A lot of people are in
Right.
this field. So talk to us about your method and how it is able to transform us
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the way
yeah,
that you do.
yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you. What you say is that actually, and I think that the more coaches there is, that it's really good, because a lot of people are in need of a coach. And and
mhm,
I don't really keep myself busy with the fact that there are a lot of coaches. I've been coaching
mhm,
for just about 25 years in my life, and
mhm,
it's, for me, it's a very natural way of doing and being.
mhm,
And it's actually also in my design. So my coaching method, signature for success, just as the word signature already implies, a signature is very personal. I don't know if
mhm,
my kids did it when they were young, and I was even practicing my dad's signature when I was young, but I was never really good at
mhm.
copying it. Actually tried. And but it's so a signature is very personal, and I think that's really what the key of this method is all about,
Mhm,
is that getting answers to the question, what is it that you want, what is it where you want to go career wise, job wise, as a business owner or as a professional. It is knowing really who you are, what your core values are, what your
mhm,
deepest desires are, what is your purpose, and your passions and talents. But then not just talents, because I think I did a lot of things in my life that I was good at, but things that I
mhm,
really missed the fire from within, this really burning
mhm,
desire of doing it. And I think that combination, all of that, and also getting clarity on what your unique added value is and finding out what
mhm,
that is, that's what we call the signature. And so that's really what your personal
mm,
signature is. And also for business owners, because the method is something that we actually have to, and we have a crossway. We do it for people that are in a career path, they're working for
Mhm.
an employer, and also for entrepreneurs. And if you have clarity on your personal signature as an entrepreneur, it's really important that you have clarity on what your business signature is, because a lot of people have ideas and
Mm.
they have products and services, and some give workshops or trainings or this or that, but then they don't really know what the umbrella of their services is, and what
Mm.
really the transformation is that you bring your clients from A to B. And so what is it where
Mm.
your client is at right now, and what is the desire, where does your client want to go to? And that transformation, that's actually where you take off in designing your own business signature. And once you have that, actually that is,
Mhm.
it's something you can rely on, because every product, every service that you think of is something that you take your business signature as a starting point. And so what
Mm.
makes the method really different is that is really, we really dig deep in the beginning, because the person that you are today,
Mhm.
you and me, is that we there you have had a path,
Mhm.
and so what took you to the point where you are today, and understanding yourself, and taking that as a starting point. And I think if you do that, it is, we book wonderful results, and then and really life changing. And that's what I wanted to work with people, and to really help them change lives. And if we do that, I think that's a ripple effect that we all need in the world, and not looking at all the negativity and the news, and the elections that you have in the US. And I think a lot of people are extremely frustrated about it. But then, I think you have, of course, you have the responsibility to vote, and I think that's really
Mhm.
good that everybody does that. But then again, you don't have influence on everything. The only thing you can influence is yourself. And if you can do that by
Right.
doing something that is really the through the gift that you've been given in life, and then
Mhm.
passing it on to others. And that's
Mhm.
what I do in my job, and that gives me fulfillment. And that's how, and that's what I meant with the ripple effect of
Mm.
doing what you love, and also, having other people do, make them do what they really want, and what they're good at, and how they can change the world.
Mhm. I love that. And, I guess my next question would be, you have people who are watching and they are at that point where they need a coach, but they are just intimidated by asking for help. They have been a veteran, so to speak, in their career, and
Mhm.
they've always been the breadwinner, or they've always had all the answers and have been in control. So, what advice would you give them about being vulnerable and accepting that they need help and asking?
Yeah, yeah, I love that question. And I
Mhm.
think that's accepting the fact that it's okay not to have all the answers, and it's okay
Mhm.
to reach out for help, and that it's not a sign of weakness, but actually it is a sign of strength to take your own responsibility, and to reach out, and to find help, and to do that. And that's what I think. If you take that step, because then, the people that I work with, all at some point take that step, because they think their life is too important just to stay kind of put and stuck in a situation where they're in. So I think the more eager you are in really wanting to make the change, at some
Mhm.
point you will reach out. and
Mhm.
um and also, if you look at it from the angle of who are you to keep your uniqueness and your qualities and everything that you have to bring others, to keep it to
Mhm.
yourself. How weird
Mhm.
is that? Because then I think if you look at it from that angle, it kind
Mhm.
of, gets the pressure of your own anxiousness or your own
Mhm.
fear of getting out there. Is that there are people as we speak that could use your help very, very, very
Mhm.
well. And who are you, not to share
Mhm.
your wisdom and share your gift to the world, and help others that are stuck. And it's, I think if you look at it that way, it will kind of
Mhm.
put the pressure of, it's actually not about you, but it's about your gift, and how you can, take it to others, and to
Mhm.
the world. Are you
I
getting
love
what I'm saying? Yeah.
absolutely, because it's laying down that ego. I mean,
Yes.
that's definitely something that resonates with me because I was raised an only child, high
Mhm.
achiever in education. And, it's like, oh, I'm doing well, gifted classes, honor roll, college degree, and then I'm failing at motherhood because
Uh-huh.
I just have this situation where the standards I set for myself I felt I wasn't obtaining every day, day after day, because I had this checklist that never got done. And then every day I would add to it 5 or 6 more things.
Yeah.
So I
Uh-huh.
totally get that. And
Yeah.
there is so much liberation from letting go of that ego. The minute you
Yeah.
say, hey, you know what? I'm human. I'm not perfect. It's like the doors open up and, you begin to have this transformation to be able to walk with more strength, recognizing that you don't have all the answers. So I love that you point that out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
talk to us about your book. So
Yes.
having this is another thing. A lot of people feel like, oh, I have what I want to say, but is anybody going to read it? So somebody who is watching who feels like they get the fact that they do have that unique voice and that message, but there's still that intimidation about sharing their story with others.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think first of all, it's about creating your story.
Mhm,
I think that's step one, is to really know what is your story, who are you, and so by knowing yourself, you'll eventually find out what your story is. So I think that's step one, is knowing what your
mhm,
story is. And I think it is a kind of a hype. Everybody's writing a book, and I think it definitely, writing a book is a very 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 wonderful process, and but it is something that I think, do it when it's something that comes your way, and it really is something that suits you, because I think it's not something that everybody needs to do. It's something that will, but there are other ways in sharing your story, and you're sharing your story, you're doing it through videos, live videos, and you do it
mhm,
your way, but there are different ways in doing it. And I think so the most important thing is know what your story is, and step out and let your voice be heard. And I think there are
mhm,
different ways you can do that, but just find ways, and letting your voice hurt, just be heard. And then again, as I said in the other point that we were just talking about, it's in that sense is not exactly about you, but it's about being an inspiration for others. And that's
mm,
something I really wanted to do with my book. And it's been on my mind for many many years. And years ago, I had an idea about writing a management book, and actually this is more a book for personal development, because actually all the topics
mhm,
that in my practice and actually in my life, that are kind of underneath everything that people are talking about, um,
mhm,
that's what my book is all about. Because taking on life is all about, it's about trust, it's about worthiness, self-worthiness, it's about love, it's about ego, it's about success, it's about knowing who you are, knowing what you
mhm,
want, it's about
mhm,
thankfulness, it's about letting go, it's about accepting, it's about a lot of topics that are really crucial in reflecting on who you are. And actually the book kind
mhm,
of builds up to writing your own personal manifest. And it's
mm,
so and for me, the process of writing this book, especially in these times of these COVID-19 pandemic, has
mhm,
been just a very organic way of doing it. And I think the universe really created time for me to do this.
mhm,
And sometimes I even think about it, like, how on earth did I write this book? I don't know how I did it, but I did it. But it's just it's kind of a realization where you think, okay, it's been such a flow of doing it, that
mhm,
and I think that's what really the key in life is, and to find things in life that where you don't have to swim up the stream, but where you can
mhm,
follow the flow of life. And that's what I did writing. And writing is something I've been doing for many many years. I've written a lot of blogs and columns, and it's something that I enjoy a lot. But this book is just really something that I would like to give others to get inspired and to
Mm-hmm.
follow up on, and to even give deeper meaning in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really love about it. So it's really been a joy in doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and I really think it's not going to be my last book, Michelle. I
Oh,
think so.
that's awesome. Hey, that
Yeah.
is great. We're hearing it here first. Hey, there's going to be a sequel. So that's good. Now, so I guess the last thing I would ask is, as a parent, we go through our highs and lows, ups and downs, and I'm challenged with that right now myself. I have 8 kids that are doing e-learning. 2 of them just don't want to get with the program. I'm like,
Mhm,
I'm trying everything. They're in middle school. It's like,
mhm,
it's like pulling teeth, getting them focused, motivated about, what it is that they need to do. And sometimes we have those moments of, I went to a conference one day and they said, don't throw away your day. You really just had a bad 5 minutes. And so as parents, we sometimes have
yeah.
those times when our children are not fitting into that box, or that perfect set of ideals of performing or whatever. So what advice would you give other moms who are watching when they have those moments where it is challenging dealing with our children,
Mhm, yeah,
and
yeah,
moving beyond
yeah.
that, being able to see the future from, past this moment that we're in right now?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I love that question, and I think first of all, I have deep respect for all parents, mothers, but also parents, because
Yeah.
then I think that motherhood has been a blessing for me in life, but at the same time, it's been a huge challenge.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of times in my life where I thought, where is this? Where are these instructions on how this goes? What do I need to do in life? And it's like, I don't know if you recognize that.
Oh, well, we lost her for a moment. Not sure what happened. This is definitely a great topic. We are going to stand by to see if she does join us. But I guess one of the things that I would say in answer to that question is that you have to kind of look back over where you've been and remember that you do have this. So it was 10 times that I've actually had children in middle school. So I have been through this right now, even though it's really challenging dealing with these 2 middle schoolers that I'm dealing with right now. So it's there she goes. Something with the internet, those little internet
Yes, I
goblins
got
is
kicked
what I
out.
call
I know, I get kicked out. It got a little, yeah, it got a little strange. Let's pick up on what we were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
talking about
somebody
the
is having
advice for
that
all these
difficult
moms.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So it's yeah. What I was saying is that I had this deep respect for parents and for moms, and I think that these times are challenging. I think especially for a lot of
Mhm.
women, is what you see is that um, some tend to go into that traditional role of taking care of the family and taking that leading
Mhm.
role instead of looking at your partner. And that kind of depends on if you're alone or not. But if you're in a relationship and you have someone else in the house that is, co-responsible for the children, that a lot of women
Mhm.
kind of automatically get into that traditional role of taking care. And I think one thing is really important is that you're worth it to take your
Mhm.
me time, how difficult it is that, but
Mhm.
you are not just a mom in your life. And for me, having these different roles and being a coach, being a business owner, being a mother, being a child, and being a friend, and being whatever role you have, is you have these different roles, and you have the right to to take your me time for these different roles. And so I think
Mhm.
is the only important it is to realize that you're worth it, and you're worth it to create your me time. So even there, we were talking about, asking for help. And also here, I
Mhm.
think a lot of people and a lot of women are very hesitant to ask
Mhm.
for help, to say, I need my time right now, so
Mhm.
busy, and with the kids at home and whatever it is. So ask for it and take it. And I think usually there are more opportunities than you think there are in creating that. So maybe you want to wake up a little bit earlier in the morning, even though it's the time of the year that's probably difficult for a lot of people. But make sure you have that me time in the morning, or maybe
Mhm.
sometime in the evening, or you have that walk outside where you can, you're in
Mhm.
nature, and you can, and kind of reload your battery. So there are different ways where you
Mhm.
can be creative and create the time that you need to be actually aligned with yourself and to feel good.
Mhm.
And then even by doing that, you feel better, you're a better person, and you're even, a better partner, a better mom, and that's
Mhm.
how it works.
Yeah, I mean, great advice, because I think we do have these challenges where we're expecting, and no one is necessarily saying these things, but we want to be all things to all people. We
Right.
want to be that mom, we want to be that partner, we want to be that coworker. Everything is like perfection, and it really is an illusion. And, it's no wonder
Agree.
why many of us struggle with trying to be perfect this, perfect that, because it really is an illusion.
No, no, and
So
also, and I think, and also something, if I may add to it, is that I
mhm,
think a lot of, and especially women sometimes, is that they kind of escape from,
mhm,
being faced with themselves and reality by, being
mhm,
busy with the kids, and really being concerned and really taking care of them. But the kids, the kids are here that you guide them, but they're here to be,
mhm,
independent. And of course, it depends on the age that they have. But what is
mhm,
really important is that you don't overdo it, and don't walk
mhm,
away from the person that you are, because you're not, of course, if you have children, you're a mom, and you'll always remain a mom, whatever happens. But
mhm,
that doesn't mean
mhm,
that you're not Michelle. That doesn't mean you're not Evelien. That
mhm.
doesn't mean you're not, whoever you are, because that's the person that you are initially, and that you always stay. And you won't, there's no escape from that.
Yes, that is such a great point, because so many of us as moms compartmentalize our life. And that was my story. It was like, you're building this resentment. It's like you're thinking that you're doing this for the kids to have that perfect opportunity for them to grow up, and you're going to put your stuff on the shelf and pick it up when they get bigger, or, once they get in school, or whatever timeline that you have for that. But you are thinking that time is going to stand still.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
by the time my kids leave, I'm going to be what, 60? So what am I going to do? Just think I can pick up, like, where I feel now
hmm
as a 60-year-old, and just my life is going to be perfectly fit. So
yeah,
I love that point that you bring up, because life is happening. And that's one of the things that led me to the title America Supermom, because it's like, I am having my career and doing this in the midst of being with my children.
yeah,
And, I was just raised where, it's just compartmentalized. And, who lives life like that? I think
yeah,
that's one of the things that's kind of insane, because you're having this mindset that everything can be perfect, and, you can have this fairy tale life, but everything comes with the cost. If you get married, then
yeah.
it's like there's compromise, or, you have children, then it's like, you have to navigate those waters. And so I love that you bring that up, because that really can be liberating for those who may be listening.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, and I think even, that the desire that everything needs to be perfect, I think it's a huge blessing if you can let go of that. It doesn't
Yes.
have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to look perfect. Nobody's perfect. And I think that's just, you know, um I think it's that raw diamond within all of us. I know if we can value that, and we can allow ourselves to, show it to the world, because that's what attract people to you, and that's what people want to learn from you. And I think it's all about letting go, accepting, and it's so I really hope that
That's my
that's
grandson.
that's your grandson. Oh God, yes. So we were talking
He wants
about
to hear.
children, but then here we even have a grandson. Oh, that's cute.
Say
That's
hi.
cute. Yes. Hi.
He's like, hey, I'm just taking over the headphones. Here, let's both wear them. How about
Yeah.
that?
Share 'em. Share 'em. No, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So this
Yes.
has been great. This has been wonderful. Such an eye-opening experience. He's like, hey, I need these headphones. So tell us the best way to get a hold of you.
Yes. Well, the best way to get a hold of me is actually my website, my first name and my last name.com, and then /en, which is my English version. Because of course, if you're good at Dutch, then you're welcome to get to know me through my Dutch site. But it's I have an English translation on there, so that's the best way. And if you have any questions that you want to talk to me, have a chat with me about, I have these, complimentary strategy sessions, and no obligations there whatsoever. But any questions, any thoughts that you have, you want to talk to me about, reach out, and you will find your way through my website. So it's www.evelien with Evelien, and then Van Es, it's VANES.com. There you will you'll find all the information that you need, and please don't hesitate. I'm especially for the people that are kind of, I have a question, but I don't know. Take the leap and just do it. And even if I can be an inspiration in any way, maybe even through my book, then I'd be happy to do so. And it's been a pleasure to be here with you in this lovely morning, Lachelle.
Oh, thank you so much. And I appreciate your patience, dealing with little man here. He's like taking over the show at the end. So what parting words of advice would you like to leave the audience with?
Yeah, well, I think that the parting words are don't get distracted by everything that's going on in the world, but keep the faith and keep the trust, and especially be gentle to yourself. I think that's really, because we're usually pretty much a pain in the ass for ourselves, but be gentle, and it's what happens, and I think it's as long as you do your best and living your life in the world that you want to create.
He's playing music on my phone and everything.
But it's
He's
life,
saying,
huh?
let's get this
So
party started, right?
yeah, so it's yeah, but it's this life. This is part of being life, and so
Yes,
it's about being gentle to yourself and trust. Keep the trust and keep the faith, and reach out for help, and don't be afraid.
I love that. Well, we have definitely enjoyed this time with you, and your insights are spot on. And I encourage the audience to reach out to you to have that conversation, because that is the beginning of that awareness. We can't change anything if we're not aware of anything being wrong. And those conversations can be so liberating. One of the
Exactly.
things that I love is the evolution of being a better version of myself daily, but it takes work to do that. So I really enjoyed our opportunity to connect, and we just were real about real issues, which allowed us to get to where we are today with this interview. So I want to thank you again for your wisdom, your insight, and looking forward to more collaborations in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that, and likewise. And thank you very much. And I hope you all have a lovely day. And yeah, maybe we'll meet sometime soon. And we'll definitely keep in touch.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have a wonderful day. We want to thank you guys for watching us. And Again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Reach out to Evelien. She is going to, we'll have all of her information in the links so that you can reach out and check out her website and the different things that she does offer, because it's all about improving and transforming ourselves so that we can live that life of fulfillment that we're desiring. So we want to thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.